wrapping things up as we saw the Buckeyes fall for just the second time in the last 2 seasons. Each time it has been in the college football playoff. Of course, last year in the semifinals, this year in the championship. It should not in any way, though, diminish what was a remarkable season for Ohio State. Gerry, you think about where we were in September, thinking we weren't even going to play. August and September, thinking we weren't going to play Big Ten football this year. For Ohio State to come back to fight to get football and to play as well as they did, real credit to this program.
Yeah, I think about 2 things looking back for the Ohio State team. First of all, how active the players were in urging the commissioner to play football. I thought they really made a difference. Ryan Day was outspoken, as was Scott Frost. So I admire that they really came out and said what they felt and how they wanted to play. The toughest thing about this whole thing is Ohio State is a national championship or bust program, and in my opinion, it's the only one in the Big Ten. And I just hope that they can enjoy the fact that they won the Big Ten Conference. To me, that is so difficult.
And beat a great Clemson team, who everyone thought would be out here on this field and might be able to challenge Alabama.
Right, but we've seen Mark D'Antonio come to the desk after getting beaten in the playoffs, and he looked like he didn't win a Big Ten game. And maybe you've been through the same thing. And Ryan Day, I saw him briefly on TV tonight. He looks like he's never won a game either. That's the toughest thing with the Ohio State program.
Yeah, but that's reality, and that's you take a job like this, and you take a job like Ohio State, and that's the expectations, and you can embrace them, and that's what they've done, and they're going to enjoy the fact they beat Clemson. But this is also the harsh reality: the Big Ten's got to get going again. The Big Ten, and this I used the word to chase in 2012. Our conference was very average. The Big Ten conference was not great, and then people started recruiting and started pushing and started going, and the reality is the best team of the Big Ten got beat by Alabama soundly. That's okay. Ohio State's recruiting at a level. They'll be back here. I think it's a challenge for everyone else in this conference to get going. I mean, the whole country saw this, and that's not just the Big Ten. That's the Pac-12 and the Big 12 as well. The reality is Alabama's on a different stratosphere right now. Go catch them. The one school that's recruiting at that level is Coach Day in Ohio State. So I think this was a stand-up call for everybody. I can tell you there's coaches across the country are seeing that team that just played tonight and say, we have to go get them.
I hear you. I guess I don't see it as an indictment of the Big Ten or even an indictment of Ohio State. I mean, no one in the SEC could play with them either. No one could play with them this year, right? I mean, they're just that good.
Oh, no, I'm not saying an indictment of anyone. I'm just saying here's reality.
Right.
And reality is that you have to get going. The reality is the Big Ten Conference this year, in my opinion, they've got to get back to when the 2 big dogs, Penn State and the Wolverines, you have to, for the Big Ten to challenge the SEC for the top conference in America, which I believe we got close to it in that 13-14. But that's why you go to work every day. I mean, when you say indictment, it's not an indictment, it's called a challenge. There's a big difference. It's called a challenge. Get up, go to work, and go beat that team you just saw tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Penn State and Michigan falling behind this year was unexpected.
And Michigan State.
And Michigan State. Michigan State maybe a little more expected, but certainly we didn't expect Penn State and Michigan to have the kind of years they had.
But let's give credit to the Big Ten programs that did have good years, somewhat unexpectedly. Indiana with a really good team. Northwestern had a good team. Iowa was a really good team.
Right.
But again, I understand, you have certain programs that you think of as standard bearers, and whether or not those programs can get back to that level, we will see. Give us a sense of what you see for Ohio State next year. I mean, the expectation is they'll be right back at competing for a national championship.
Well,
again.
They're recruiting at a high level, and they're addressing, the biggest thing that I noticed when I first went to the Big Ten Conference in 2012, it wasn't very fast. We were slow, especially the offensive defense lines, not athletic. And you can see when the Wolverines have Rashad, Gerry, and some of those players, Winovich, they really started to play at that level. The same thing with Penn State, same thing with Ohio State. Started the athleticism up front. They started playing like that. So the biggest difference is just the overall speed. And I can see Ohio State addressing that. Right now, the other teams of the Big Ten have to continue. Like you mentioned Iowa, and I think Iowa and Wisconsin are fantastic programs, but everyone's got to elevate.
Quarterback next year? They don't have a quarterback.
Yeah, there's 2
now.
freshmen, C.J. Stroud and Jack Miller. And the coaches really like those guys. And they feel very comfortable. They've also got the #1 quarterback in America coming out of Texas, the next year. So they're recruiting at a very high level. They got a great coaching staff. There might be some transition. I'm not sure on the coaching staff, but Coach Day is, he's built an elite program, and it's not going anywhere.
Well, no, we would fully expect to see Ohio State back competing at this level once again. Again, 4 straight outright Big Ten championships, first program ever to do that. And they will begin the quest for 5 in a row, probably tomorrow, knowing Ryan Day, right there. They'll be raring and ready to go.